an addendum to that, so please make sure you have the addendum with you as well. Now, ladies and gents, it is truly an honor, and I love saying this. This is a pleasure for me to say that it is an honor for me to please welcome back on stage the chairman of the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, His Excellency Mr. Kofi Annan, to conclude the forum's proceedings.
Let me also thank some of the participants, starting with President Obasanjo, who made time to join us. And I also wish to express my deep appreciation to Prime Minister Pinda, who came all the way from Tanzania to join us and has left us to take a look at the Volta Dam. And of course, that also plays a role in agriculture. But my gratitude also goes to the ministers from several countries, as well as the many business leaders, civil society leaders, and farmers who have been here with us the past 3 days. And like others before me, I would want to thank the sponsors who joined us in making this possible, and also to thank the moderators, the interpreters, and all the staff who worked with Akin and his team to make sure they delivered a good session. When I look at what has happened the last 3 days, we've had a really good collection of participants, from bankers to businessmen to farmers to politicians to journalists, and I think this is what this revolution is going to require. And I've also been excited by the comments and the enthusiasm we've all had about the participation of women and recognition of the role they play in African agriculture. Until now, as I've often said, they have been bearing the brunt, and they sink or swim on their own without much support from government, no access to money, and I hope all this is about to change. And of course, I should not leave out the parliamentarians who I hope will make sure in their various parliaments that the right budgetary appropriation is made to support agriculture and that the right policies are extended to agriculture. But let me reflect a bit on the concrete actions going forward that have come out of this forum. First, we agreed to pool our efforts and resources to scale up breadbasket investment plans across many more African countries, consistent with the investment blueprints for the agricultural growth corridors and the country compacts of CAADP and UNEP. Second, we have agreed to empower women throughout the agricultural value chain by accelerating the access to improved technology, finance, markets, and most importantly, strongly engage their participation in policy formulation. Third, we have agreed to implement the Impact Investment Fund for African agriculture in order to scale up access to finance by farmers and agribusiness. 4, increase investments in science, technology, and research for food and nutrition security, but this has to be done on a sustained basis and in cooperation with the farmers. 5, we have agreed to accelerate access to improved seed by promoting the entire value chain, including support for plant breeding, seed companies, and distribution systems. We have agreed to improve fertilizer supply systems and encourage more efficient fertilizer value chains and to scale up agro-dealers to improve access by farmers. For all of the above to work, We also agreed to implement more inclusive business models that link, and this is very important, that link, thank you, business models that link agribusiness, commercial farms, and smallholder farmers. And we also agreed that the agribusiness model must be firmly supported by investments in infrastructure, including irrigation, storage, and food processing, but all this must ensure that the smallholder farmers do benefit. We must exercise better water management, getting more crop per drop, and ensuring that our farmers can build an asset base that will improve their resilience. We must recognize that the backbone of African agriculture is mixed crop livestock systems. Livestock will be integrated into the vitally important breadbasket initiatives and corridor models to make them even more efficient and sustainable. It is key to food security in Africa. President Obasanjo, who unfortunately couldn't be with us now, reminded us that it is okay to be a farmer, and we should, in fact, find a way of honoring our farmers. We all know that we cannot succeed unless governments play their role. We cannot get used to poverty. It's something we need to fight to reduce, although the fight against poverty is not something that is easily won. We need to get up each day ready to fight it again. But African governments must rise up to the challenge and seize the moment. As I said in my opening remarks, good leaders are also good followers. And if leaders don't lead, the people will let them follow. But I am convinced that you will hold the leaders' feet to the fire, and they will find the will to do the right thing and work with us in transforming African agriculture. As we go forward, the euphoria must be tempered by the sobering reality of climate change. We will put in place measures to adapt to the onslaught of nature. The African farmer did not cause the climate change, but must bear the brunt, and indeed is bearing the heaviest brunt of the impact of climate change. Let's change our destiny. I call on the global community to honor their commitments to climate change adaptation, mitigation, and support the millions of African smallholder farmers who are going to be victims of that change. And I hope we were disappointed in Copenhagen. I'm not sure what will come out of Cancun, but I would urge the leaders and those who are going to Cancun to bear the poor African farmer in mind. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends and partners in hope, optimism can no longer be deferred. The time for action is now. For as you leave this forum, you are carrying upon your shoulders the vibrant hopes of generations, of a generation on this continent. We will not dash the dream of African farmer. Yesterday, we celebrated the remarkable life and achievements of the architect of Green Revolution. Dr. Norman Borlaug saved more lives than perhaps anyone in history. And yet, in his final days, his very last words were, "Take it to the farmer. Take it to the farmer." Yes, take it to the farmer. It is our mandate that his words live on, and they shall, with Africa's own